Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica!
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young. And we are here to
rant and rave. Ooh, lots of shoulders. Jessica, how are you?
I'm great, Dana. How are you?
I'm good. How was your last hour?
It was perfect. I
good.
was putting some aloe on my sunburn.
Oh, nice. I put some aloe on my old crinkly looking hands the other day from my big aloe bush.
I love it.
It's not a bush. It's not but it's ginormous.
Sprouting plant. No, they're awesome. I don't know if you and I ever talked about this because I was like, aren't these desert dwelling plants? We moved our aloe from our back balcony to the front. And I'm like, I don't need it to make the neighborhood look pretty. I wanted it for me to look at.
Right.
Well, that aloe can really burn and turn orange.
Yes, that's what happened to mine. And I thought for 3 years, I thought it was dead. And then I read that they get sunburned.
Mm-hmm.
So I repotted it and moved it under the porch. The entire thing within 2 weeks turned green again.
Yes.
And it was
kind of miraculous.
It was all orange. And now it's completely bright green again. Isn't that insane? They can get sunburned.
It's so weird.
But it's the same with succulents. Here I go. I'm going to bore people with plant talk again. But this is very true when people are like, I can't keep anything alive, not even a cactus. Well, cacti and succulents are two totally different things. Yep. And some cacti can be full sun, but most succulents cannot. Yeah. They can't handle it. Just like that aloe. My aloe is huge. It was here when I bought my house. So
wow.
It's probably 20, 30 years old, right?
Because it's amazing.
Yeah, it's just huge. And I thought, oh, yeah, of course, it's supposed to be in full sun. It's a succulent, cactus type.
Right?
Nope. We are all wrong.
It's wild.
I know. Well, I'm glad you got yours moved. I bet she really appreciates it.
I mean, it is beautiful, totally vibrant green again. And
I really do. I do once in a while. I don't like to pick things off my plants.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me sad. But once in a while, I will use the aloe because I'm like, she wants to be used. She has these medicinal powers and she wants to make heal.
Also, it's something that doesn't, there's certain things where it's like, if you cut into that or cut the wrong part, it's like, you might have just caused a problem for that plant or part of it. I'm like, they're like a lizard. If they lose their tail, they regenerate. They kind of close up. Another one starts.
Yeah, it self-heals and keeps on growing. And I will say, too, when you buy aloe vera, at least this is my experience. When I have bought aloe vera at the store in the past for sunburns and things, because, I'm albino white, it feels sticky to me. I don't like it.
Yes.
But when you get it straight off the plant, or you can actually buy them in the grocery store, like stalks of it, because people eat it in their smoothies and stuff too. It's supposed to be really good for you. But when you get it fresh from the aloe plant, it is not sticky.
You're right.
It may feel like it at first, but it soaks into your skin so fast and it's not sticky. There's no sticky.
It feels so good. And it has a very clean scent to it. It's not a strong smell.
It hardly smells, but you're right.
But
it is clean.
It just smells clean.
Clean.
And it makes me think of like summer.
Oh, nice. I know a lot of people eat that aloe slime. I don't know if I could handle that.
I don't know if I could either, but as you mentioned, blended into something, probably not bad. Or if you hide
it in a smoothie, I mean, it's literally the consistency of baby snot. So I don't think it's something you want to be like slithering around inside your mouth. At least not for me.
Oh my gosh. That's a question for our friend Sarah, who's a listener and quite the avid plant connoisseur, as are you. And she does a whole lot of cooking and she's really good at it. So Sarah, I know
Oh.
you're listening.
I love
We'd
how
like-
you looked up as if she were in
I
your
know.
doorway.
Hello? Is the speaker system working? The home intercom system? Oh my God.
Yeah, I definitely don't have those. She probably knows a lot more than I do. I don't have
I
answers
wonder
for
if
that
she's ever
stuff.
eaten it though.
I don't know.
But
A
now I'm
lot of
very curious.
I
We'll
know a lot
definitely
of
have
people
an
do.
answer.
That
Mhm.
and honey is also raw honey is also very good for you. They say you should eat a couple tablespoons a day.
It also helps if you have it made from local bees because it helps with allergens if you're getting a little bit of all the
In
stuff.
your area.
Yes.
Interesting. That's really fascinating.
Yep.
I did not know that. You know, someone on my Instagram yesterday posted they're kind of like into holistic and healthy stuff.
Mhm.
Their at is Sacred Elements. Okay.
Mhm.
So anyway, they posted this I guess it's a meme or whatever telling what different vegetables do for you. Did
Oh.
you know that cucumbers have a lot of like they activate our serotonin production, and they recommend if you eat them before you go to sleep, you'll have like a nice full sleep and restful,
Oh.
like happy sleep. I know that sounds crazy, but it really
No.
resonated with me because I have frantic sleep.
Same. Same. I need happy sleeps.
I need happy sleeps. And it said carrots can give you the energy to do a 3-mile walk. So I was like, oh, Jessica needs to eat a little packet of carrots before she goes on her walks,
I
her rage
actually eat
walks.
a lot of carrots and a lot
I
of
love carrots.
cucumbers.
Yeah.
Love.
I don't eat enough cucumbers. I love cucumbers. And
Mhm.
you know, everybody's doing all these crazy things with the foods right now.
Like what?
So if you put sugar or some type of sweetener on your cucumbers, it tastes just like watermelon, they say. And it's getting people to eat more cucumbers. Or the big one right now that I cannot understand, and people swear to God, it is so delicious.
The yellow mustard on watermelon?
Yes.
I only know that because Hoda and Jenna did it last
They
week.
did?
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, it sounds disgusting, but you know me and mixing foods, like I do that sometimes, and I'm very curious because I got to tell you, I love me yellow mustard. I love
So
me
do
some.
I.
You love
So
mustard
do
too.
I.
Uh-huh. Remember we were at that party a couple weeks ago and we were both like looking at all the mustards like weirdos?
Yes.
We stood at that table and went through every mustard because there was a
We
Dijon,
did.
there was a yellow, there was a wasn't there a
Dill
dill
pickle.
mustard? Yeah.
We brought that and I bought another bottle of it yesterday.
I might have to try it.
It's so good. You love pickles and you love yellow mustard.
Yes.
And it doesn't taste like relish. They've literally chopped up some dill pickles and thrown it into, the Trader Joe's version of French's mustard. It is delish.
I love that you're so obsessed with this dill pickle mustard because
Yes.
I might have to try the cute watermelon mustard. I'm not interested in your dill pickle mustard.
Oh my God.
You brought those dill pickle chips, and
Yes.
I couldn't stop eating them because my brain and tongue kept trying to figure out this flavor that shouldn't be on a potato chip.
I love it.
And then I was like, well, you just ate all those calories because you were curious. Good job, Dana. It wasn't even enjoyable, really, because I was like, nom, 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 nom. What is this?
Yes.
Trying to
But
figure it
there's
out.
a difference, right? Sometimes you try something and you're like, oh, you can't get the taste scraped off your tongue and out of your mouth fast enough. And then there's other things where you try it and you're
you keep eating
not
it.
mad at it, but you
Right.
don't love it. But do
Right.
you like it? And you keep going. Yes.
I mean, you left 3/4 a bag here and I ate it all. I didn't share that. I didn't
And
share
you
with
tried
anyone in
one
my
chip.
house.
I'm like, oh, she hates it. And then admittedly, I was like, well, now I wish I had taken it with me. She's not going to eat them anyway.
Oh, no, I ate every bit of them while watching my crime shows.
Perfect.
I mean, at the end of the day, to be honest, a chip is a chip and a chip is good.
So you know what they have that you might like?
What?
I think it's called Backyard Party or something, or
Okay.
patio chips. Also at Trader Joe's.
Mhm.
It is chips that are, they're not even kind of like the Canadian all dressed chips, but it's like ketchup chip, mustard chip, relish chip. They're supposed to have seasoning on it so that it tastes like a backyard
Oh,
barbecue, but not barbecue flavored chips like we
right,
know.
right.
You might need to try those. I think you might like it.
I might
Mhm.
actually. I love a good seasoning on something too.
Yeah.
I'm one of those popcorn people. I'll sprinkle ranch on my popcorn. Ranch
That,
powder.
yes, that apparently is very good. They
It
also, if
is.
you love popcorn and you do or don't love
I
pickles,
do. I
they
do
have
love
a pickle
pickles.
popcorn at
Now,
Trader
see
Joe's that
that?
people swear by.
I'm not sure about that.
You know, you might have
I
to eat a
like,
bag and decide if you like it or not.
I might, you're right. Or 3 or 4.
Ah,
Oh, Jessica, should we just like jump right in?
let's do it.
I don't have anything. It's a little bit cloudy in LA. That's my
Yes,
only report for you guys. And
I
this,
know.
once you hear it, will be what, 2 weeks past. But my little lizards weren't out today. Every day when I go pick up my son, where Kira lives, they have tons of little lizards.
Does he love them or do you love them more?
I do. I love them. He likes to go study the bees. They
Oh,
have they have such a cute little courtyard area with lots of
mm-hmm.
beautiful flowers and stuff, and the bees love the flowers. So he
Oh,
looks at the bees and I go talk to the lizards. We look crazy because he's literally just staring at a bush inches. His face is inches away from it. And then I'm kneeling down to go, "Hi, you're so big. Hello." We just look insane.
I would really like you to show Henry the picture of the Jollibee mascot and ask him what he thinks that
What
is.
kind of animal that is. I
He's going to
should do that.
say, that's not an animal. I don't know what that is. He'll probably say it's a monster.
Yeah. In a chef's assistant's hat.
Chef's assistant. The
It's not
specificity is brilliant.
it's not the regular, what do you call it? Toque? Is that what it's called?
Oh,
Yeah, I learned that from you, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I learned.
fancy. No, I assure you, I do not know chef attire and terminology. I know apron.
Is that right though? Toque is right, right?
I
Am I
don't
wrong?
know.
Oh, I thought you told me that. Maybe I learned
I
it on
know
Ratatouille.
a toque is a northerner's name for a beanie, but that's about it.
That seems real specific. Wait, I have to look it up because our friends are going to be mad at us if we just move on. Chefs, should I type a T? No. Chef's hat name. Will that help me
Chef
find it?
hat name. Oh,
Jessica,
yes,
I'm so right.
you are.
TOQUE. A chef's hat is officially called a toque, which is Arabic for hat.
Interesting.
The French popularized the word when popularized. I can't even talk. I'm trying to learn new words and I can't even use my old ones. French popularized it when the word, referring to a chef's hat, according to Culinary Anyone. By the 1800s, the hat became known as the toque blanche or white hat.
Excuse me.
There's a whole article on the history of the chef's hat. And there's another, it's escoffier. Escoffier?
Escoffier.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what you're reading. I love how I'm trying to guess the pronunciation of something I
And
can't
I'm
see.
asking you, and you can't see it. We're dumb. Okay, anyway. Why were you even talking about it? Oh, Jollibee.
Jollibee.
Jollibee. Okay, let's just jump in with our rant.
Okay.
You're up first.
Now, this is going to be another one of my not famous yet rant that's kind of a rave. The rave being that I had an amazing service done yesterday. I had a facial. It had been 2 years since I had one. Actually, nay. It's been longer. I had one in January of 2019.
Oh.
So we're talking 2.5 years. I wish it was something that was regular. At best, I
do
had one
too.
like once a year.
I know. Well, we said last week things like that. People think it's sort
Luxury, but it's
of
necessity.
it really is good for you.
Yes.
On so many levels.
Mentally and physically. And sorry, I was not born with nice skin. Okay. When I was in
Yeah,
high
no,
school, I
me
used to
either.
go get facials. My friends would be like, oh, look at you. Huh? You're so spoiled. There, you get a facial. I'm like, well, last time I checked, I'm not getting anything that's making me chill. I'm tense as hell because I'm getting extractions.
Ooh,
Okay. So I had lots of extractions yesterday. However, I will tell you this. It was such an amazing experience. You guys, I've been on a big kick about this for a couple of years. If you don't need or want something specific, ask people to give you gift cards to whatever salon or place you may frequent, or just say, hey, I'd love a manicure, something like that.
right,
It's not a very expensive thing.
right.
Usually, if you can get someone as a gift, $30 can usually cover a manicure,
Totally.
right?
Yeah. And
So,
also out here in LA, I don't know if other cities, I'm sure it's expanded more, but we have
mhm,
those places you and I talked about. It's one open room. So it's not like
yes,
a totally private, get naked kind of thing, which sounds
exactly.
like it would be anxiety inducing, but it's actually really not.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like if you went and had like a private suite, the facial that I got probably would have been $150.
Oh, I'm
And I
sure.
mean, standard anywhere that was like that in other
Yeah,
parts of the country. It's just
sure.
to get the whole works for someone to work on you for an hour. And especially, again, the extractions. That's when they're like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, get all this stuff out of my clogged skin. It was great. It was in a room. Now, also, because of COVID, there's still limited capacity. So
Sure.
I did not know that this place, which normally can have 6 customers in at a time, it's a tiny place. It's great. High
Yeah.
ceilings, lovely. They're only doing 2 people at a time.
Oh,
And I
wow.
just happened to pick the latest time they offered, not knowing that was the end of the day. It was perfect. My friend and I were the only 2 people in there. This was a treat for her birthday. And we
Nice.
went, and it was so quiet. Now, I'm paranoid about everything. So whenever I heard any mumbling, like kind of like this, I'm like,
Mhm,
oh my God, they can hear us talking, which is getting to my rant. My esthetician
mhm,
was sweet as can be,
mhm.
but girl, I don't want to talk to you
Okay.
while you're trying to make me feel relaxed enough to let you dig out my pores.
Yeah, you know what? I touched on that a little bit when we were talking about nails and stuff and how it's not
Yes,
relaxing for me. I get anxiety and
same.
think that I have to talk to people and entertain them while they're doing their job. I don't know why. It's such a mental
No, I'm the same way,
it's
Dana, and I
so
hate it.
dumb.
I'm here to tell
And
you I hate it.
and I will say 85% of the time, I don't want you to talk to me. This is my mommy time away, my wife time
Yes,
away. I
yes.
want to close my eyes and imagine pretty colors.
I wanna close my eyes too.
So, can I give you a tip on what I started doing to fix that in a way that wasn't rude, in a way I
Yes.
felt comfortable with? I say, before they get started, I go, oh, this is lovely. Thank you. Do you mind if I just close my eyes and zone out for a while? I
Oh.
really need this. And frequently I
Ooh.
think it also lets them off the hook because let's be honest, they have to read us like books when we walk in. Some
Yes.
people want the talking, and even I sometimes, some days, I'm in
Sure.
the mood for it. And
Yep,
like I've had a couple of older ladies do my nails before that I was just like, I want to hear your story. They were fascinating to me,
yep.
you know, but then other times I want to be quiet. Well, we can't expect them to know that.
I
Right? Like, how do they don't know us. So that's what I started doing, and it produced way less anxiety for
yep.
me.
That's
It's just
actually great.
taken care of right off the bat, and it's not rude, and
Yep,
they know the parameters, and they're like, "Cool, then I can just do my job, let you zone out, and neither one of us have to worry."
yep.
You know?
Yes. I totally agree, and you know what? I have to stop assuming people can read the obvious, and I say obvious
No.
because I will just lean my head back, have my mouth open wide enough to catch flies, and probably be snoring and hoping that they get the memo that I don't want
Don't
you to
talk.
talk.
Mhm.
Nope, they keep talking. Like
I
it's
also sometimes put in earbuds, and I'll say, "If you need me, just tap me, it's no big deal."
oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was she's like, hey, and she was whispering, at first she's like, what are we doing here today? I said, whatever you think needs to be done.
Mhm.
And she goes, oh, well, I'll be really gentle. I said, You don't need to be gentle. I know that extractions are painful, and that's really the main reason I'm here. She's like, well, I'm going to take good care of you. I'm like, great. And then she just kept whispering in my ear. And then I was like,
No.
what is happening?
No. What was she whispering about?
Well, she'd be like, here we go. And I'm going to apply some light pressure.
No, don't tell me. Just do.
And yeah, it was like, I do not need a play by play. And then she'd be like, all right, all done. All right, let's give you some love.
No.
And I'm like, what is happening? And then she started massaging my décolleté. Of course, I got really nervous.
I would not be in for that. I don't want no décolleté.
She is like, and now I think with the amount of inflammation in your skin, I think our signature pumpkin hyaluronic acid enzyme peel, whatever other words she threw in there, I think the pumpkin peel would be perfect. Pumpkin is a superfood. Like that's when her voice is getting louder. I'm like, lady, again, it's back to like my wine when they would romance the description of wine. It's like, I want this on my skin, not in my stomach. I know it's a superfood. Is it going to help my pimples? Then slather it on and shut up.
Yes.
Let it dry and then wash it off.
You don't
I swear.
You don't have to tell me everything you're doing.
The more silent you are, the bigger the tip you'll get.
Ma'am, how does this feel? Does this feel good?
Yes, I was sleeping for a brief moment.
No,
now you've awakened me.
Let's not sleep. Let's rise to our fullest potential. I'm going to mush on your décolletage.
Dana, I swear she would have done that. No. And then a few times she goes, now I need you to do something for me. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. And I'm like, what? What? And she goes, I need you to take a deep, long breath. I mean, it was almost sexual.
That's what I'm getting from you, and I don't like it. Did you see my face?
Yes. Like she'd ask me a question. She's like, do you know that? Or have you ever tried that? And I'm like, yeah. I think she specifically, I swear to God, asked me if I liked burritos. And I said, I swear to God, I'm like, one eye open. I'm like, yeah, they're great. She goes, I was hoping you'd say that. I love burritos, but I'm from San Francisco.
No, stop.
And they don't know how to make burritos down here. They do not know how to make burritos. So I drove to San Diego with my partner, and she got me a burrito for Mother's Day from a real burrito place. I'm telling you. And I was like, lady, I swear to God, I need to get up and walk around and shake it off. Close your mouth. Put the pumpkin peel on and let me wait for the great pumpkin to arrive. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Again,
because
she did a
you wanted
great job.
peace. You just wanted peace and quiet and pampers.
They were playing such amazing, like ambient music.
Oh my God.
Again,
why is it so beautiful when you go there? And then when you try and play it for yourself at home, you're like, this is so dumb.
Horny.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
But she's like, are we good? I'm like, this is perfect. I think I literally said this is perfect. And then
no, see, that was your moment. This is perfect. I'm just gonna zone out, not talk. If you need me, tap on my shoulder.
Yes.
That was your end.
That from now on. Seriously. Thank you for that tip. And you're right. I need to just say it because again, this wasn't like someone who was being obnoxious. She wasn't loud.
Of course
she wasn't bringing up inappropriate things. Like sometimes people talk about stuff and my eyes are bugging out and I'm thinking, I have a news for you, pal. You have no idea that my opinion is completely different than yours. And it's probably best for both of us that I keep my mouth shut. And I suggest you shut yours too. That's my internal monologue. But I don't, and you're right though, Dana. Like they don't know, and they are in a service business, and they're just trying to make sure you're right. But I always feel guilty. I had a hairdresser that would do that. I'm like, well, I've been here for 4 hours because you couldn't shut your yapper.
Yeah. I say to my hairdresser, okay, are you ready for gossip about people you don't know?
Hilarious.
because that's their full-time job. Now, when I go to the hairdresser, I don't mind chatting, but of course, also I know her. I've been going to her for years. I like to hear about her life. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But
that's
again,
different.
it's like, how can she read that? Because there have been times I've gone to her and been like, Christy, I just need to be quiet.
Yeah,
I just need, and she's like, yeah, cool.
totally.
I'm sure that girl meant no harm and was
But
trying
she
to make
didn't.
sure you
She
had
was
a lovely,
lovely.
and she played it real safe because I don't think there are a lot of people that don't like burritos.
It was just so random.
That's like when people say to you, do you like music? It's like, of course I do. Who hates music? What kind of monster do you have to be to hate music? Or to even be like, it's all right. I don't really care. What are you talking about? You don't sing happy birthday, nothing. Everybody loves some music. Well,
Right?
everybody loves a burrito. She played it real good. Did she at least do a good job on, were you happy with your
She did an
extraction?
amazing job. I mean, honestly,
I hate it when you pay extra for extractions and then you go home and you're like, did you do anything?
right? I could have done it with that darn Sally Hansen tool or whatever the hell it is.
Totally.
It's also included. That's what I'm saying. Because when she was talking, I had that moment of anxiety where I'm like, oh God, she just told me she's putting on the pumpkin hyaluronic acid peel your face off serum. I don't know how much that's going to cost. That's probably extra. And then she goes, now I'm going to put on some serum. She gave me a whole diatribe about vitamin C and how essential that was to skin.
Yeah, because then they're
And
going to try and sell it to you afterwards. So they
that's
want
what I
to.
thought. And
She did?
then for the final mask, she's like, now we're going to do eucalyptus and sulfur. Well, that's when I just about dry heaved in her
Sulfur.
face. Um, I hate eucalyptus and I
I like
hate
eucalyptus.
sulfur.
Eucalyptus is a very strong,
Uh-huh. And I
uh,
don't like it.
like icy hot kind of smell.
Yep,
That medicine-y.
it is. But
And
I
then
will tell
sulfur
you,
is just farts. I
yes,
don't want anybody
like
rubbing
rotten
farts.
eggs.
Yeah, I don't want any farts rubbed into my face.
I don't know how they did it. First of all, there was no smell of sulfur. Also,
No?
the eucalyptus, it was strong, but it was tolerable. And again, I really dislike that scent. So this place uses only natural products. They
Mhm.
claim they have no chemicals, nothing that is unnatural in their stuff.
Mhm.
So it was all included. I mean, the price was exactly what was quoted. There was no add-ons. I guess you get 2 or 3 masks in your
Right.
treatment as well as the extractions and all that jazz. So it was actually quite amazing, like
That's awesome.
shockingly amazing. And yeah, it was great. I
So
really next time I think I'm just gonna say, I've barely slept. I'm probably gonna fall asleep. So if I don't answer you, I'm sleeping. Good
yeah,
night.
it's an easy out for them. It's not
Yes.
rude, and then
Yes.
you're gonna enjoy your time.
100%.
I love that this is the second rant that you have been like, but I did enjoy it very much.
So I'm telling you, it's like a guilty rant. It's like, was the end result great? Yes, it was. Was the process great? It was. I just wish there could have been less
Less
talking.
talking. Yeah, I don't think you're alone on that. I
But I
think
also thought my friend or her esthetician were because I'm telling you, I would hear mumbling,
mhm.
but I either this is how my mind works or I made it up. But I heard, can you ask them to keep it down? And I thought it was my friend
No.
being annoyed by me. She goes, what are you talking? She goes, I didn't say a word. She goes, neither did my esthetician. I said, I swear to God, I heard, can you ask them to keep it down? And then I thought I also additionally heard, can you please turn the music up? But
No.
maybe that was my mind
Your
talking
brain
to
making
the
up
devil on my
stories.
shoulder, saying, tell the esthetician to please keep it down
Yeah.
and to please turn the music up.
Yeah, no, your brain made up that story.
So pathetic.
Your brain made up that story. I love too that you were nervous. You had like anxiety about her volume level,
Oh,
not
yeah.
just yours.
No. I was like, she really needs to keep it down
That's amazing.
with that deep whisper.
You know what my favorite part is when they bring their thumbs around, like do a little McDonald's arch on your forehead and bring
Yes.
their thumbs around right at your jaw point here.
Yes.
That's how I know I talk too much because, man, when they do that, I just melt like a kitten.
Yep.
I just go, McDonald's, and I'm out.
But why is it so I swear it's
I
like,
don't
if
know.
there's no pressure, I'm like, and I'm sorry, yes, you could do it to yourself, but if you and I both sat here and did that on our
It's
foreheads,
just
I
not
don't
the
think we'd
same.
feel better. When
No.
someone else does it, you're like,
Yes.
"Ah,
You feel like you melt.
yes."
I actually did that to my son when he was a baby, when he would get upset.
Oh.
Based off of my experience, I knew
Mhm.
that it always made me go, "Huh," and he would just melt eventually, even
Oh,
if
I
he was
love that.
crying, when he was baby.
Mhm.
It would just calm him. I don't know what it
It's so
is.
sweet. I know, it's very soothing. I don't
Yeah. My mama had never had a facial before in her
Mhm.
life, and this was, I wanna say 3 or 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And I took her for her one and only facial, and that was really special, except, like you, kind of enjoyed it, but she said that the steam stole her breath. She felt like she couldn't breathe, and I told her, I said, "Then mama, when you're in a situation like that where this is all about you,
Mhm.
you should have said, 'Can you turn it down just a little bit? It feels like it's still.'" They don't care. They want you to
Yep,
have a good time, you know? But I thought
totally.
that was so funny. So, anyway, my point of saying that is I bet there are a lot of people out there, man, woman, however you identify, that have never had a facial, and I'm telling you
Do
100%
it.
of you should do it.
Yes.
It's
I even
such
told
good.
Alan, even though he really does have great skin, I'm like,
Yeah,
"God,
no,
you
it's not
really
even
don't."
just about that.
I said, "I think you might really enjoy it." He was like,
Well,
"Okay."
you tell Alan that last year for Father's Day, I got Dan tipped in a facial.
Oh, did he
Like,
like it?
I entered him in a sweepstakes, and he
Nice.
won, and he loved it. He really did.
Yep,
He said it was so relaxing.
exactly.
Yeah, so if you've never done that, whatever the reasoning behind it is, I know stuff like that makes me nervous.
Yes.
I still get nervous when I go to get my hair done. I don't
Mhm.
I have no explanation as for why, but gives me anxiety until
That's
I
so
get there and
funny.
I'm in it. So if you have that feeling about a facial, Jessica and I are here to tell you, go do it for
Mhm.
yourself. It feels good. Take a friend like
For
Jessica
sure.
did.
Yes.
I've done it with friends before too.
Do it.
It's fun. Yay.
Ravey rant over.
Ravey rant. Ravey rant. Okay, well, my rant is gonna be shorter, and also it has no bearing on anything ever. It does not matter. Jessica, can we please talk about subtitles? Because I think at least 2 or 3 times I have randomly texted or emailed you in the middle of the night and been like, "I gotta complain about subtitles." It's so stupid, but right now, things are starting to open back up but for the
Mhm.
longest time, all we had was streaming, TV, all that kinda
Mhm.
stuff. And I have a child and a husband, and I like to watch things that are not appropriate for maybe all audiences.
Mhm.
Crime shows or South Park. And so I often turn on the subtitles so that I can keep the volume very low if I'm not wearing earbuds, right?
Sure,
But even
sure.
if I have in the earbuds, I like to keep everything low so that my mama ears are always perked up
Mhm.
and I can still watch what I'm doing. I used to transcribe things like
Mhm.
interviews and stuff for our friend Josh DuBose, who had a
Mhm.
business that was my job. And so I would have to listen to things and type it out so that reporters could then take it and make articles out of it. Right. So another form of transcribing is a lot of people who did what I did also part time did transcribing for TV shows and movies and things. It is clear to me. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not 100% right all the time. Real close. But Jessica, is it me or do you think computers are now all doing transcribing? And the reason I ask is because of things like this. When a helicopter is in the scene
Mhm.
and the subtitles need to describe that, because it's not there for me to like keep quiet. It's for people who need
Sure.
it. And it says multiple helicopter chops. Jessica, what? What
When
human?
if you had been doing that type of transcribing, would you have written "A helicopter flies over"?
Yes, or
Okay.
helicopter whirring, although choppers are a little choppier than whirs. But what human would say multiple helicopter chops?
No one.
That to me says, who got dismembered by a helicopter?
A guy on ER about 10 years ago.
Jessica, you're not supposed, it was a retort.
They landed on the roof. He went to get the gurney out, and the helicopter literally chopped his arm off. It was one of the doctors.
Or the other one that gets me, when there's music that's not identifiable, like not a famous song that they can identify, my subtitles always say applause. I don't know why. But again, I'm telling you, what human would hear music and go, I don't know the name of that song. I'll just write applause.
Oh my God. It is weird. Yes. I wonder. I mean, I know people, it's not necessarily transcribing. I know people that are listening to different things and typing it out because that helps with like analytics and stuff like that. For search engines and all that mumbo jumbo that I don't know much about. And it's so overwhelming to me. But you make a really good point.
Because I will say, this is again why I'm saying it doesn't matter. Like, I shouldn't even be wasting my energy and breath, but I am clearly because I'm petty. But it pulls me out of my show, and that's what annoys me, because then my stupid comedian brain starts thinking of all the weird ways I could describe that thing instead of just going, "Oh, this is clearly a computer." I'm like, "Oh, what would I say that would make myself giggle?"
Mystery Dana Theater 3000.
And then I miss half my show and I have to rewind it. Ooh, problems. Ooh.
I mean, on the subtitle tip, are you as annoyed by this? It makes Alan literally go nuts. And I have to agree, but I'm tickled at how angry it makes him because he doesn't.
When did you get a dog?
That ain't mine, girl.
I know.
That's the female dog with a goatee.
Long, like a 5-inch goatee.
Weird.
It is really soft and pretty though.
Alan goes nuts when we're watching something on television and we're watching a show that's in English, right? And they start subtitling people because they have a Southern accent, because they have a French accent, a Spanish accent, anything other than English accent. And Alan goes nuts. He's like, they are speaking fluent English. Why are they subtitling them?
I mean, he's not wrong, but sometimes like an Irish brogue or something, or a big, like a back swamp, Louisiana, I can't understand it. So in those situations, you know, that's the second level of my rant though, is if they have an accent of any kind, this is when I started going, this is not a human, because you would not believe the crazy shit that it says if they're Australian. Because, you know, I told you I've been on this like Australian and Canadian crime kick lately.
Can you please? And it just, I lost it on the tip of my tongue. Dear God, I told you to watch it for years. Now I'm livid.
The Fifth Estate?
No, the prison show that I love. Oh God.
Australian?
Wentworth.
Yes, I need to. It's in my watch list. I just haven't done it.
I just got so upset.
You did?
Like, how could I forget it? There's been like 8 seasons. I'm literally obsessed.
Well, some of the things that it will type out when someone has an accent are absolutely nonsensical and insane. And I'm like, that's not a human being. No one would listen to an Australian accent and they're like trying to talk about, Lord, I don't know, the mail they got that day, but the subtitles is like, flying in Austria, whale's arm jiggleloft. And you're like, what? It doesn't even sound like that.
That sounded more Austrian than Australian.
It sounded bonkers cuckoo. Because it is. But then again, because I'm an idiot, I start giggling and I'm out of my show.
Yes.
If this is the biggest problem I had, I would be the luckiest girl in the world.
Right?
Anyway, that's my rant. I'm done.
Oh
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it really upsets me. If I'm choosing to use those subtitles, I want them to be right. And I don't want music to say applause. You type music.
Dana, I'm wondering if you and our listeners, while we take a cleansing breath that you bring us into, can do me a favor and please imagine the subtitle of your own cleansing breath.
It would be multiple helicopter traps. All right. We like to rant out the things we know don't matter so that we can have some sense of normalcy after the crazy world we've been living in the last couple of years.
Ain't no doubt.
And we get it all out and we fill up with some funnies and some goodness and good news. So do it with us if you have a second. Take a deep breath in. And out. Brackets applause.
Tiny claps. Oh my word.
Tiny hand chops. That's what clapping should be. Tiny hand chops. All right. Corners.
I almost called this corner Why Bother?
Oh, I kind of like that. I don't even know what it is.
Maybe it should be Why Bother. We just keep inventing new corners on a weekly basis, and I'm kind of okay with it.
I am too. I definitely okay with it.
This is from the HuffPo.
Okay.
Why Bother? Man returns Bob Dylan album to Ohio Library 48 years late. Not 48 days.
Right.
Not 48 hours.
Don't they charge a dime a day after you're late?
I thought it was more than that these days, but maybe the library, maybe Dewey Decimal didn't say to inflate, the charges for late books.
I just let you keep going. I wanted to know.
I was just stammering. And Decimal was not his last name. Dewey was clearly probably the person's last name. It's the Dewey Decimal System. But I'm like, Dewey Decimal didn't want the books to be inflated.
You know who's going to write in about this? Mr. Young.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to tell you, Jessica, his name was not Dewey Decimal.
His name was Horace. He was born in 1936 in a small town in Illinois. Oh, my God.
I love it.
Howard Simon checked out Dylan's self-portrait album in 1973 from a University Heights library and recently returned it along with $175.
Oh.
After nearly...
What was the $175 for?
I'm assuming maybe his late fees. And if you're right about the dimes, maybe he calculated that. Maybe it was a dime a month.
Oh.
After nearly 5 decades of blowing in the wind... a double Bob Dylan album finally has a direction home. A man living in San Francisco has mailed the vinyl back to an Ohio library 48 years after it was supposed to be returned. Howard Simon recently sent the album along with a letter to Heights Libraries apologizing for his tardiness, according to a news release from the library system outside Cleveland. Simon checked out Dylan's self-portrait album in 1973 as an 8th grader at a University Heights middle school.
What?
Simon,
so cute.
Now 73, says he found it between 2 other Bob Dylan albums in his personal vinyl collection.
And he remembered it didn't belong to him?
Like, what's this here? Oh, maybe it had the library's little jacket. Remember the little card holder?
Yeah.
As a recent retiree, I am taking the opportunity to turn my attention to some of the many vignettes of life that by dint of career and family have been neglected these many years.
He's very fluid with his language. Right. Is he a professor?
I am returning with the letter an overdue item. By my count, approximately 17,480 days overdue as of this writing.
Oh my God.
His letter says the album cover is a little battered after traveling with him from University Heights to San Francisco with various stops in between, but the library says the records themselves remain in great shape. Simon also sent the library a $175 replacement fee for self-portrait, along with an album he recorded, Western Reserve, for possible inclusion in the library's collection.
Now, hold up. He sent an album that he recorded himself?
Now that is remains to be seen, because I thought the same thing. I don't know if Western Reserve, Nick Armstrong, I'm talking to you, Mr. Bob Dylan fanatic. Is Western Reserve a Dylan album, or is this Mr.
I mean,
Simon's personal recording?
Because that would be incredible, because then I would
Be
say,
amazing.
oh no, this is just a what do you call it? This is a marketing ploy to
Right?
get his music into the library.
It would be amazing.
Right?
Okay, this is fantastic. The last paragraph of this is, the funny thing about this is that we don't charge overdue fines anymore. As long as we get the item back, we see no need to penalize people, says branch manager Sarah Phillips. We're grateful that Mr. Simon returned the record. I'd say we can now call it even.
Oh.
Well, I wish the University of Alabama had the same thought, because my
Uh-huh.
father reminds me to this day
Uh-huh.
of what he paid in my library fines.
Yeah, I had to pay $115 university library fine before I could get my diploma. And I was freaking, I still don't remember what I did to get that money,
Yep.
which is frightening.
I literally begged and pleaded with my dad. Like, I don't know what I swore I would never do again, or what I would
Right.
do to, because it was the same thing. Yeah, it's like, if you had unpaid parking tickets or library tickets at my school, they weren't playing around. It's like,
No,
you can't
same.
register for the next semester. It was like one of
Exactly.
those kind of things.
And I was in a smaller program where there were some classes that were only offered certain semesters. So, like, to
Yes.
line up with when you could graduate, you
Yes,
were like, I got to pay these fines
totally.
or I'm not going to get in the class. I'm going to have to go to school an extra year. And I was already on the 6-year program. Good Lord, I could have been a doctor.
Oh God, right?
Well, I Googled Western Reserve. That's what you said, right?
Hmm.
And Bob Dylan, and a whole bunch of stuff called Why Bob Dylan Matters came up from Case Western Reserve University. So, listen, I don't know. In my mind, I'm going to pretend that this man recorded his own album and then sent it back to the library along with Bob Dylan's. Because this will be controversial, but I am not a Bob Dylan fan. I recognize
You
that
know,
he's very important to the music, to musical history, and some people adore his style and taste. I
mhm.
do not fall into that category.
I will tell you two very quick asides about Bob Dylan. One, I understand what you're saying, and I thought the same thing until I listened to young Bob Dylan. It's kind of like how I feel about Tom Waits. I like the young
Mhm.
Tom Waits. I could kind of do without the later
I'm
years
not
Tom
into
Waits.
that. I'm not into the weights either.
Same.
Dan Tipton
But
is. Yeah.
Bob Dylan was so my university really did get, I mean, we're a huge school, University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, a huge school, and they got like traveling acts that a lot of schools do this, but they got some
Right.
big name people that came through with like traveling performances,
Dan Tipton's
dance,
university
theater.
did too. We
I mean,
did
it's kind of
not.
cool.
He saw like Dave Matthews Band before they were famous. He saw
Yes, they played at
Coolio.
my school all the time. Not
That's so
even at our
crazy
school.
to
They played
me.
in like dive bars on the
Yeah.
strip.
Yeah.
But every year for homecoming, they got a huge musical act to do it, like very well
Really?
known. And probably my freshman or sophomore year, it was Bob Dylan.
Mm.
And he was so bad that I left halfway through. I couldn't even
Oh,
understand him.
no.
He was
Oh.
old and drunk and mumbling, and I was like, ay, ay, ay. So,
Mm.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
a
I know
sad
people love him,
story.
but again, younger Bob Dylan, there are some songs where I'm like, "Oh, wow, I never realized this was Bob Dylan," or I'll hear it on the radio. I love listening to the radio, and then when they'll be like, "That was Bob Dylan, blah, blah, blah," and I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Okay." You
See,
just think of the few songs that come to your mind and
of course. Well, and that style of music, like that classic kind of, I don't
folksy.
folksy, weird. druggy.
Oh
It's just not my thing. And listen, I like all different kinds of music. I like country. You guys know that. My husband says I'm ruining our child. I like jazz. I like Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald, blah, blah, blah. But like my go-to doing the dishes, I'm like, I want to listen to Charlie Puth. So don't go. I guess basically I'm saying I really can't be like this bastion of someone whose personal taste in music should be respected. I'm not sure that I should be respected in any way, but I'm not a fan. Interesting.
Yes. What's your corner?
Well, I'm a big fan of the name of my corner for
Another new corner.
It's another new corner, and I enjoy it very, very much. Hey, you guys, here's my corner. Dumb-da-dum-dum-dumb. I like it. I like it. Okay, this is from HuffPost. One of Jessica's favorites. Okay, sorry, it took a minute to load because whatever. Anyway, this is from HuffPost. It's by, Panpilus. I hope I pronounced that right. I think they just took it from the AP. But anyway, cheese photo. I mean, honestly, you can fill in the blank with anything and I'm on board after that opening. Cheese photo. Cheese photo leads to arrest of, quote, big cheese drug dealer in Liverpool.
It should have been by the mirror.
Should have. All right. British detectives tracked down Carl Stewart after identifying his fingerprints in a photo of Stilton cheese he posted on an encrypted messaging service. What? Yeah, this is from the London AP. A drug dealer in the English city of Liverpool thought he was a big cheese. All right, guys, we get it. What is the end of this article? Some kind of cut the cheese joke? Because I'm going to be mad if it is. Until the police got all the evidence they needed to arrest him from a picture he shared of himself holding a small block of creamy Stilton. Carl Stewart, 39, old enough to know better, was sentenced to 13 years and 6 months in prison at Liverpool Crown Court last week after he pleaded guilty to the conspiracy to supply cocaine, conspiracy to supply heroin, MDMA, and ketamine, and transferring criminal property. I mean, this guy's dealing in a lot of heavy drugs, including horse drugs. Isn't that what ketamine is?
I don't know.
I believe it's
ketamine
is a tranquilizer for horses, isn't it?
It probably is, but that's some serious stuff.
Serious drugs here. Were it not for a photo he shared of himself holding the cheese block from the reputable British retailer Marks and Spencer, he could still very well be supplying large amounts of drugs. Stewart was arrested after he posted the photo on an encrypted messaging service, EncroChat. Duly noted. To check that out in case I need to send some encrypted messages. Wait, here's his handle. Are you ready? Toffee Force. I'm sorry, what? Your handle on your encrypted messaging thing is Toffee Force?
No.
Lord have mercy. Unbeknownst to him, the service had been cracked by police in Europe. From that, his palm and fingerprints were analyzed. Off the picture, Jessica.
That's crazy.
The police had their man. Police Detective Inspector Lee Wilkinson said Stewart had been caught out by his love of Stilton cheese. Stewart isn't alone in having his criminal activities brought to a premature end by his activities on EncroChat. Police say around 60,000 users have now been identified worldwide, with about 10,000 of them in the UK alone. All are said to be involved in coordinating and planning the supply and distribution of drugs, weapons, money laundering, and other criminal activity. What? Jessica, is this connected to that story I talked about the UCLA football player that ended up having somebody pee on that guy's mom's grave? Remember?
What?
I told you, I listened to this podcast about how this dumb UCLA football player brought down an international crime syndicate because there's this guy in Canada that created encrypted cell phones that the police cannot crack.
Oh, wow.
And he supplies them to gangs, drug cartels, spies, everything.
What?
And this football player he was running his own, I'll try and keep it short. He was running his own thing. He gets mad at this guy that was supposed to be helping him out and ended up losing a bunch of money, right?
Mhm.
So he hires a man to go pee on that man's mom's
Oh,
grave, takes a picture of himself in a Nacho Libre mask and photoshops it onto the body of the person peeing on this man's mom's
no.
grave. Well, the
No.
guy was like, "You can threaten my life. You can beat me up," because he had beaten him up a little bit too. "You can do
Mhm.
all of that, but no one is going to piss on my mom's grave." And he went to the police, and it set off dominoes that took down the man in Canada who created the encrypted phones, which he said, "Well, let me help you all out a little bit. The top security person in Canada has been emailing me secrets for sale." So it like absolutely
Holy
brought down so many people. It was insane. And
that's unreal.
I wonder if this is connected to it.
Maybe.
Holy cow. So they arrested more than 60 people as part of Operation Venetic. I don't know what that means. And three more criminals were sentenced to long-term prison terms on Wednesday. Three more are due for sentencing on Thursday.
Wow.
Sean Harrison, 33, was sentenced to 10 years, 8 months in prison after pleading guilty to conspiracy to supply cocaine and cannabis. Um, he was caught out after he revealed personal details of himself on EncroChat. Yeah, that was dumb. And he went by the handle Scant Bee and Sand Ferret.
What?
What? um, can you? I'm sorry, Jessica, but we have to take a second. How kind of terrifying is that? That this man, am I wrong in saying he got caught because he took a picture of cheese in his hand and they were able to identify his fingerprint from the picture?
It's amazing.
That is amazing, but also terrifying.
Well, yes. It's the same thing. It's like, ugh, are we always being filmed? That's creepy. And at the same time, it's like, if it's gonna help catch some creep show
I
criminal, then
mean, right?
great.
Which is why, remember when I posted that picture of the inside of my eyeball and I was like, please don't anybody steal this and try and get into secret rooms
Yes,
later.
you maniac.
But am I, after this corner, am I
You
a
know what?
maniac?
I was freaked out by the retinal scan in Minority Report 20 years ago. So,
Because they go pluck out your eyeball and get in whatever they want.
uh,
That is a great, great story, though. I love that corner. Dum da dum
I-
dum.
dumb.
That cheese looked good too. Did you see the picture?
I can't believe you're saying that. Do you like Stilton?
I don't know what that means. I thought it
I
was a
mean,
brand.
Stilton is a stronger type of British cheese, but they have one with mango and ginger in it.
Oh, no, I'm not into that.
Oh. Then I know you ain't gonna like regular Stilton either.
Okay, then just give me some old sharp cheddar.
Yeah.
Some Tillamook.
Oh god, it's the best.
Oh, love it. A Tillamook on a burger.
There's
Woo!
nothing better.
And
I
some,
like
yeah,
all
and some
cheese for the most part, but cheddar on a burger, come
cheddar
on.
on a burger with some mustards.
Cheddar's just like a surefire win, but yes, I like extra sharp.
Mhm.
It's so good. I also always get mad because Alan would get annoyed when I'd get shredded cheese, and I'm like, "Ugh, why do you care?" I'm like, "It's
Why
easier." He's like, "And it's dry, Jessica."
to
It's
eat for in your home, you mean?
He's right. I'm sorry, but now that I've tasted them side by side,
Yeah.
pre-shredded cheese to a block where, yeah, it's a pain. Like, I do not enjoy using a grater. Okay. That's like
No,
the
I
one
don't
tool I
either.
hate using,
Yeah.
but it is night and day if you grate the cheese fresh. He's right.
Yeah. We are big block eaters. Like
Yes,
we like to slice and have some crackers and
but it's
yeah.
so much better. It's not
Yeah,
all dry when it's already cut. It's same with pre-cut veggies and all that stuff. I'm
totally.
not
Yeah.
shaming anyone, and some people cannot physically cut vegetables. I get it.
I
I
physically
get
can't
the
make
convenience.
I can't make myself. It's just yeah, for me, it's just laziness. No, but we are block cheesers.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good.
Ah, all
All
right.
right, let's jump into the greatness of our show.
Here we go.
It's rave time.
It's rave time. So this company was something that I looked up after watching. We had raved about this a few weeks ago. The celebrity stylist who started putting together entire wardrobes for women who were like
Yes.
leaving abusive relationships or
Yes.
who lost, everything and are single moms and things like that. So
Mhm.
one of the companies that he had that was donating clothing to him to make this a reality was called Magpies and Peacocks. And just out of curiosity, I didn't even know that it was something like this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to look that label up. Well, let me tell you about Magpies and Peacocks, Dana.
Yes, please do.
It is the nation's only 501c3 nonprofit design house dedicated to the collection and sustainable reuse of post consumer clothing, scrap textiles, and accessories diverted from landfill. In
Hmm.
order to disrupt the cycle of waste in the fashion industry and mitigate its enormous environmental and social impact, we collaborate with a network of designers, makers, and artists to create unique, upcycled products, provide a resource library of reusable material for the creative community, offer skill building and sustainability education, and incubate circular fashion innovation. Our model rests on 4 pillars: collaborate, which is connecting local businesses, donors, artists, designers, and educators;
Mhm.
create, producing upcycled, high quality, socially responsible products and solutions; educate, provide training, sustainability mentorship, raw materials, and support for emerging designers and makers;
Oh.
and invest, supporting local grassroots organizations and community workforce development. By empowering emerging designers, we can promote arts education and build on the long term platform needed to build their careers. Providing post consumer raw materials to colleges as part of their programs, promote sustainability, circular design, social responsibility, and ethical practice systematically, and offers a budget friendly, creative solution to keeping fashion out of landfills. And by raising essential funding and supporting local grassroots causes, we can invest back into our community with workforce equity and opportunity. I'm almost done. I know this is a mouthful. Through collaboration, we can build a sustainable future for local emerging designers, promote social responsibility, ethics, and circular innovation, and create awareness for charitable causes that raise essential funding for creative community development.
Okay, that sounds really cool. In layman's terms,
Mm-hmm.
they are supporting and giving tools and resources to young people that are in the fashion industry to prevent
To
uh
prevent, first of all, like clothes going into landfills, which is a
gotcha.
huge thing.
Uh-huh.
So they're upcycling, they're taking existing
Got you.
clothing and
And
repurposing it,
repurposing
right?
them, which I love that. There's a
I
couple
do
of
too.
stores over on Magnolia that's what they do. They take vintage clothing and
Yep,
repurpose it, and they're always so unique and so cool. Okay.
totally.
Okay, so that makes sense.
And I just love also like the collaboration aspect, connecting local businesses, donors, artists, designers, and educators. So
Absolutely. So many people get involved.
it's taking all different facets and putting them together under one umbrella.
I
It's
really
very
love
cool.
that.
Their site is beautiful. There's so much to check out. So some of these are very simple websites. You go and it's like volunteer or donate, has
Right.
a simple little blurb, and that's it. Some of
Right.
them, trust me, I fell down the rabbit hole with this one. There is so much to look at on their website. And again, I love this because it's something that can go out through communities across the country. So
Mhm.
definitely check out Magpies and Peacocks.
I love
And
that. I'm gonna
it's,
check them out.
yeah, magpiesandpeacocks.org. O-R-G.
Awesome. A 501c3 too.
Yes.
So cool. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and dive into my rave. This rave, I can't remember if I saw it on, I follow an account on Instagram that I really
Mhm.
love. It does get a bit political, so it may not be your thing, but called A Girl Has No President, I believe is the name,
Hmm.
her handle. But anyway, I think this is where I saw it. So, first of all, I just want to say happy Pride Month.
Yes. Happy Pride
Um,
Month
by
indeed.
the time this episode comes out, it'll be nearing the end of Pride Month.
Mhm.
But I think this is even more important because sometimes the messages for us, like a month or a
Mhm.
thing like this, we really focus on them when it's the month of them, right?
Mhm.
And then we kind of forget. So I would
Totally.
like to take this opportunity. Pride Month is going to be winding down when we hear about this, but that doesn't mean that we can't still be allies.
Mhm.
So this rave is for free mom hugs, and you can find them at freemomhugs.org.
Mhm.
It was it was by the founder of Enough is Enough. So I'm going to read you a little bit about her, this woman who kind of founded all this.
Mhm.
I'm a Christian mom with a gay kid living in Oklahoma, saying enough is enough. If
Wow.
I don't fight for my son and his rights, like my hair is on fire, then who will? It's time we celebrate our LGBTQ plus children, and I won't stop until I no longer hear horror stories from the LGBTQ plus community and their members.
Mm.
I watched a video of her speaking on Instagram
Mhm.
about what she does and everything, and she's a mom. You can tell like there's just so much goodness. And I was raised very in a religious home
Mhm.
with my mother. And, we're not here to say what's right or wrong. My personal beliefs are religion and gender identity, sexual orientation, all of those things. There's no fight there to me. Love
Mhm.
is love. God made us the way he wanted us to be.
Mhm.
He certainly didn't make anyone broken and say, now try to fix it.
Right.
you know? So that's
Totally.
just my own personal belief. And I know that I was pretty much in the minority within my religious
Mhm.
community of feeling that way at that
Mhm.
time. Right.
Mhm.
And in that area.
Mhm.
So I understood, I couldn't empathize, but I could sympathize with this mother who had this son that she clearly, obviously loved, and he was perfect. He just
Mhm.
happened to be gay.
Mhm.
And she felt ousted by her religious community. And she talked about the first time she ever went to a church and heard them say that that was acceptable, that,
Mhm.
God still loved and all that was like magic to her because she couldn't believe
Sure.
she was hearing it, and that broke my heart for her, but
Mhm.
anyway, it ended up creating this, which I think is amazing. So this is in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. When the word hugs is part of an organization's mission statement, how does it continue to do the good work of helping parents accept their LGBTQIA plus children and help LGBTQIA plus people accept themselves? This is the question that's come up again and again for free mom hugs since March of 2020, as its most public facing activity, offering its, I hate this word, eponymous.
Eponymous?
Epon- yes, I never say it right. Free mom hugs at pride events all over the country. It's become unsafe since the onset of COVID-19. Our goal has always been to encourage the LGBTQIA plus community we serve and send a message to the world they are worth celebrating, said Sarah Cunningham, founder of Free Mom Hugs. This has been even more critical during the pandemic when many people have felt so isolated. We had to get creative in our outreach efforts to continue support to the community we love so much. But like so many in the pandemic area, Free Mom Hugs has adapted. So basically, they went to pride events,
Mhm.
this group of moms, and they wore t-shirts and held signs that said free mom hugs. And if people wanted to come and get a hug, they would hug them and they would say to them, I will let go when you do. And
Oh,
it just gives me chills because there are so many people who are shunned by their
yes.
families
You
and
and I
things.
both have known people who have
I've
been.
personally known people and it's
Yep.
heartbreaking. And sometimes you just need a mom hug.
Yes.
I'm not in a part of that community, but I did lose my mom this year, and there have been times that I'm like, I just want a mom hug,
Yeah.
you know?
Totally.
So they've adapted. let's see. This May 22nd, to celebrate the birthday of famed San Francisco supervisor Harvey Milk, one of the first openly gay elected officials in American history, Free Mom Hugs will stage a new kind of event in 13 American states. Members of the nonprofit's chapters in Arizona, Arkansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, Oregon, California, Arkansas, Vermont, Tennessee, Virginia, New Jersey, and Oklahoma will decorate cars for socially distanced pride rides that will support and celebrate the LGBTQ community. This is a way for our volunteers to engage in a COVID-safe way and still show love and support for the community. We've had pride rides in California and Kentucky in the past that have been very successful. Pride rides will begin simultaneously across the country at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, and will last approximately 1 hour. Zoom interviews with Free Mom Hugs co-founder Sarah Cunningham, as well as local leaders, will be available in advance. I don't know if you can hear my smile, but I just think that's lovely. That's because awesome. It kills me when someone is shunned because of who they are. We should all be able to be who we are.
Agreed.
And pride rides. I love it.
It's fantastic.
Happy Pride Month, Jessica. I know we're not a part of the community in that we're not LGBTQIA2+, but
half of my friends are. And
exactly.
I think a large number of yours are too.
Absolutely. And these people are like family to me.
Yes, absolutely.
And if someone were shunning them because of who they are as a human being, and who they love, I just can't handle it. But I love that this mom took her own, she wanted her son to be accepted. She wanted her religious community to accept her and her family as they are. And she took that pain and turned it into something really amazing. I bet you that woman has saved lives. And I'm not joking.
100%.
Yeah.
And again, it takes somebody in an area or a community to have the courage to stand up, because
absolutely.
It did take courage,
because it couldn't have been easy for her.
Of course, she luckily did not shun her or anything like that.
Correct.
And I have to say luckily, because a dear friend of mine was shunned by his family.
Well, and not only that, sometimes even when parents do support, often depending where you live, their community or around you does not. Correct.
Right. And that can include other family members.
That's
and
right.
Friends and the whole gamut. So kudos to her and to anyone who is having that courage to be like, we don't tolerate this.
That's right.
Because I promise you, there's probably many people in her area that were too scared. And I understand it. Too scared of the ramifications to them and their child.
Exactly. And
some of the times they're quiet because they're scared for their child's safety.
I was going to say,
that's horrible.
Yes. Sometimes it's not a matter of well, we just don't want to be treated dirty or get dirty looks at the grocery store. It's more that they fear for their lives. That's a real, honest look at the fear that a parent of someone in an area that's not as welcoming of that has to face. So I just applaud her for the courage it took to do that, the courage and the strength to stand beside her son who she loves, and to make that world better.
Agreed.
Where she is. And I just want to say real quick again, freemoms.org. Look them up, guys, because as you can tell, it's spreading all across the country. They're having pride rides. This is literally just your time. If you wanted to support and be an ally. So freemomhugs.org. I just thought it was beautiful. It's Pride Month. I thought it was an absolutely great thing to share at this point.
Indeed.
Yay!
Thank you, Dana.
Yeah, Jessica.
Dana.
I think that's our show.
I think it is.
Do you want to tell everybody how to get a hold of us?
Yes. Please find us, like us, write us at the Rants and Raves podcast on both Instagram and Facebook. Again, I know you've heard me say it a lot. It is case sensitive. At the Rants and Raves podcast. On Twitter, we are at raves_the. You can email us at the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com, or hit the contact button on our website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com.
Love it. Please, please, please write into us. Please rate, review, subscribe. We always say it, but we wouldn't keep repeating it ad nauseum if it wasn't true, because it's boring to hear. So there we go. I like to always end the show with a weekly point to ponder, a random fact, things we're watching or doing on TV. You guys know me. I don't got much going on besides plants. Jessica, I moved. So I am a weirdo. I'm a helicopter plant parent, right? So I enjoy moving my plants around. So in the morning, if you've seen those ridiculous Instagram videos of people getting up to their plants and that audio plays, hi, hello, good morning, of the little kid going, good morning, I love you. Like, that's me to my plants. Okay. So one of the big things that people have an issue with when you have a lot of plants is gnats. Did you know? I did not know this. When you buy soil, it's already infested with gnats and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. A lady taught me on the interwebs yesterday. She boils a pot of water and dumps it into the soil bag across the whole top so that it strains through to kill any larvae and stuff.
What, boiled water does that?
Yeah, because it cooks them.
Oh.
It kills, bacteria.
But it's not too hot for the roots or anything?
No, you put it in the bag of soil before you ever use the soil.
Oh, like cut open a portion of the
and
I
then
see.
let it drain through. And I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. But I don't have a huge gnat problem because I have carnivorous plants. So I saw a gnat over here by where we're recording earlier today. So I just brought my little
that's not fair.
sundew over here. Now, this is not the one I bought with you.
Oh, I was like, that is like insane.
Yeah, it's so big, right? And it's covered in gnats because I just carry her around wherever I see a gnat. I'm like, you're going to catch this. And she does. I got her for $10 at a hardware store.
That is the best $10 you could have ever spent.
I know. I love
it. That works better than any other crap that's out there.
Things that are shaped like a butterfly that you stick in your pot and then the gnats stick to it. It's not like that. It's more like science.
Yes.
It's like I have David Attenborough in my home.
Oh my God, I wish. I'd be over in a second.
I love it. Okay. Wait, why did I get off on that tangent?
Because you said that you're into your plants. You said that was your fun
but
fact or point to ponder.
Oh, I guess that's just what I'm up to. See what I mean? I mean, like, my brains, I just feel like in the last couple of years, my brains were run through a pasta machine so many times, I just don't have any sense left. But I want to give us some fun facts. And at first, I wanted to do the one that, did you know the wood frog can hold its pee for up to 8 months? Because I can't hold my pee-pees for 5 minutes. It's getting worse and worse. But I was like, Dana, why are your points to ponder always potty related? Get off of it. So here's something for you guys to think about and kind of like observe others this week. Are you ready? Did you know that humans are the only animals that blush?
I beg to differ.
We are also believed to be the only animal that feels embarrassment. That I don't believe because my cat and my dog have been embarrassed with bad haircuts. But but it's a complicated emotion requiring understanding others' opinions. Charles Darwin called blushing the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. Man is the only animal that blushes or needs to. Sounds interesting. I'm curious though, before we say see you next Tuesday, I'm not calling you a sea box.
Oh my God.
Did you see me pause and look at you?
I even paused.
I will never say that again.
Oh my God.
I'm curious to know what other animals you have seen blush.
Flower, the skunk in the movie Bambi.
I cannot handle you. You need to check yourself before you recognize. You make me laugh so hard. We gotta wind this up. Jessica.
Dana.
That's our show.
It is our show.
We have recorded 75 episodes back to back, and we've lost our minds.
The next time we record,
giggling.
Dana will be back from a trip to Ozark country.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear about it. And I know there's going to be lots of stories for us.
I know. I can't wait to get back and see how our friend Kate, who's definitely not listening at this point in the show, took good care of my house. Okay? You think she's going to rifle through my drawers?
She better get up to speed on some of those TikTok planties.
I know, she's really scared. Do you think I should hide something crazy in my drawers and be like, I caught you? Like, what if I put a big piece of paper in all of my drawers that just said, I caught you, Kate?
That would be amazing.
She's going to have to open a drawer. She's going to be here for 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
I'm evil. All right, Jessica, I love you.
I love you too.
We'll be back next Tuesday, but we're not going to see you next Tuesday because that's a bad word.
Goodbye.
Bye.